To drape the parallel darts in, what I've done is to release the existing dart, and you can see that the dart intake there is quite large from here to here. And Roseanne needs that much dart intake, but if we split it into two, I think we'll get a little bit better look. I'm going to go on and do this even though this has been pressed in. If it makes it easier for you, you can press it back out so it's flat. And I'm going to first of all move the fabric so that I've kind of divided it in half. The other thing that you want to do is to look at the bust shape. And what the parallel darts are going to do is to direct the fullness to two places instead of having all of the fullness or dimensionality directed at one. And if you look at the bust, you can see you don't want to dart down in here because the bust shape breaks off. Roseanne is a little bit fuller from about halfway up the bust up onto the top. So you need to look at the bust shape to begin with to decide where you want your darts. Also, those parallel darts are going to visually influence how the garment looks. We don't want a dart ending up too high because it will make it look odd, and we don't want them too low. But often what happens if you've draped in or established a single dart is that one dart is going to sit above and the other dart is going to sit below that original dart line. So I'm going to take some of the fabric here. I'm going to have you move your arm. I know it's hard to hold your arm up like that for a while, but you're doing a great job. And so I'm going to take some of the fabric like this and fold in a dart. And I want to direct that a little bit higher than I had it. That's the original dart point. Let's put a pin in where I want to direct it, and that will help. And these darts can be straight back or they can be angled. It doesn't matter, just whatever you think looks the best. And sometimes it just has to do with how it drapes in. Fabric has a mind of its own sometimes. And the amount of intake here at the side seam does not have to be equal on these two darts. If, for instance, somebody was really full busted underneath the breast, which sometimes happens, you might want a larger amount of dart intake on the lower one. So they can be the same or they can be unequal. And then we'll drape in a second dart right about in here. And then I'm going to slip these seam allowances underneath. I'm going to have to take a couple more stitches out here. And then slip the front seam, side seam allowances underneath the back side seam allowances. So we get rid of some of that excess. So I'm using this back side seam to help me figure out exactly how much intake it is I need to remove. And get this pinned in right here on the side. There we go. So I'm going to have you turn and look in the mirror so you can see these differences of the two darts. And what's your opinion?
I really like the parallel darts. They look good.
I think they look nice too. Certainly having the single dart, you might want it on some garments, but I think the parallel darts are going to look nice too. I'll make these changes on your pattern and then make a final muslin so that you have a good record of it. And I just can't thank you enough for letting us talk so openly about your body. It's been a real help for everybody and myself.